While watching Capcom Cup 2015, one thing really stood out to me compared to the previous ones. It wasn't the huge amount of prize money or Gutex's Scarface suit. It was the fact that the players weren't sitting together. For the casual observer, this might not seem like a big deal, but it drastically changes the way you have to play the game. Even the Beast himself has had to adjust the way he pressed buttons for playing overseas.
When I come to big tournaments like this in the West, we're sitting next to each other and fighting, so if I push the button hard, then my opponent sitting next to me can hear the sound and react to the Hadouken quickly.
It's safe to say there's an entire metagame behind the side-by-side format, which is not often found in other genres. In Asia, arcades usually have independent cabinets for each player where opponents can't see each other. It's common to play someone for a long time without knowing what they look like, or if they're fuming because you chose El Fuerte. This meant that Americans grew up with a totally different metagame compared to their Asian counterparts, and as the FGC moves closer and closer to esportsdom, it begs the question, should players continue to play side by side, or should they be separated like at Capcom Cup 2015? To answer this, I think it helps to see what the side-by-side metagame entails. If you watch the Daigo parry video, you'll notice that Justin Wong is mashing like a scrub. Anyone who's played Street Fighter 3 knows that Justin can't do anything at this point, but wait. Daigo either successfully parries or dies from mistiming it. But Justin wasn't mashing there because he sucks at fighting games. He was mashing because he was trying to mess up his opponent.
Yeah, you see me mashing, and that's because, as going to an arcade, you kind of mash because it's side to side, so you might mess up the opponent's timing.
It would have worked in the American arcades where both controllers are connected to a single cabinet. But alas, Daigo would parry his way into fighting game history anyways, where the video would be played over and over and over again. But what if Justin had mashed even harder and started doing the juice box dance, distracting Daigo just enough to make him miss a parry and lose? The madness would surely have been adulterated, and the most viewed FGC video might have been this one instead.
There's gonna come a point when you forget about what happened, and you're gonna wanna come back at me. And you're gonna wanna wash the taste of my dick out of your mouth.
Now the funeral is over, and all the
Because players can hear each other's button inputs, it compels them to either silence themselves or make fake button presses to throw off the other player for listening. Even players who want to play an honest side-by-side game by trying to ignore the opponent's button presses has to do just that, spend energy trying to ignore it. On top of this, players can sometimes see their opponent's inputs in their peripheral vision. A counter to this might be to sit a few inches behind the other player, but then where does it end? In addition to button presses, players can communicate with each other when they sit side by side. In some games, talking to each other is crucial, and social skills are required to do well. In fighting games, this communication is not necessary, but can be used as a tool to help you get an edge. The type of interaction can range from friendly chit-chat to help calm your nerves, all the way to physically taunting your opponent for making a mistake to discourage them. However, I imagine most casual players don't really think about this metagame too deeply. People have surely lost matches because their opponent smelled terrible, but I doubt any of those people intentionally use their BO as a strategy. But with the prize money getting bigger and bigger, I won't be surprised if someone does. So why do so many people prefer the side-by-side format? I can't speak for everyone, but there's definitely something about the tension of having two people within striking distance competing to win. In fighting sports, there are weigh-ins which involve two competitors staring each other down point blank to generate hype. It can also be argued that playing next to each other is part of the game, and that the Daigo parry was that much more impressive because he was able to block out even the distractions of Justin's violent mashing. If fighting game tournaments required players to play separately, it could become more sterile, especially for casual observers. On the other hand, playing separately can allow players to focus entirely on the game and not have to worry about their button sounds or how much BO their opponent has. Personally, I enjoy watching both formats, but I'm sure actual competitive players will feel more strongly about this than me. There's a lot of money on the line these days, and it affects players in ways we can't see as spectators. It'll be interesting to see what EVO does in the next few years. Let me know which way you guys prefer in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and happy holidays.